This is episode 7 of the FAB podcast on Wisp Sports Radio.
Excuse me.
The FAB podcast is a weekly show for women in sports business, featuring hosts from the organization Females in Athletic Business, and brought to you by Why Guess Fitness, a female-owned and operated business that features physical training designed to provide women with a personalized experience in a private setting. Go to whyguessfitness.com for more information. Welcome to this week's episode. My name is Kristen Ray, and I'm the founder of the organization called Females in Athletic Business, and one of your hosts of the FAB podcast. Today, we'll be covering how women in the sports industry can best use social media to promote ourselves and our careers, whether we're looking for a new job or just looking to kind of forward our personal brand. We're really excited to be speaking with Caroline Drake, creator of Blossom Social Media today. Caroline, thanks so much for being here this week, and maybe start by telling us a little bit about your company and your inspiration for developing it.
Thank you, Kristen. I'm thrilled to be here, and I really hope your listeners will find what I have to say useful today. Well, I'm Caroline, and I live in Oxford, England. As a girls' football coach, a sport lover, and also a mother to a teen daughter, I'm personally really passionate about women and girls becoming involved in sport. When I started my social media agency, Blossom Social, I found that I really enjoyed managing accounts whose values fitted with mine, so I naturally moved to working with clients involved in female sport. One of them is Female Coaches on Twitter, so check them out as they're just fab.
That's awesome.
I obviously still need to promote my own brand, so I'm very active on LinkedIn and Twitter to promote my brand.
Wow, I did some research on you, but I didn't know you had such a passion for women in sports, so I'm so excited that we have that in common. So that's awesome. I'm really excited to hear what you have to say then. Caroline, I want to focus mainly today on how women can put our social media accounts to work for us in our careers. And I want you and all of our listeners to keep in mind that the sports industry is a very competitive one overall, especially for women who are getting into it. And so help us first understand why it's so important these days to use our social media in both a job hunt, but also to promote our personal brands, keeping in mind how competitive the industry is.
Yeah, Kristen, I so agree that it is really competitive, but social is so important because it's made up of individuals either posting as themselves or on behalf of a company. It's a brilliant place to build connections and relationships with people you may never have met and to keep in contact and really at the front of mind with people that you have met. You can also keep up to date with industry news because sports industry moves really quickly, doesn't it?
So quickly, yeah.
Yeah, so that keep up with the news so you always know what's happening. And then looking at the recruitment side, 85% say that someone's social media platforms influences their decision to recruit. So I think it is really important.
Wow. Okay, so you actually brought up something that I think we intuitively know in our minds, but I hadn't thought of it in terms of my marketability, if you would, in a job hunt. Like, if you aren't at the top and the most forefront of knowledge, like, how do you go into an interview if you don't know who won the game last night, you know? So if you can set your social media to make sure that you are always have the most updated, whether it's scores, current events in the industry, hirings, firings, you're going to be, if you're not ready for those kind of talks, whether it's kind of small talk in an interview or something like that, like, they're not going to think you're the most relevant person they're talking to in that interview if you're not on the if you haven't been the most updated on the industry's happening. So yeah, not only is it a tool to use for promoting yourself, but you've got to make sure that you're using it as best as you can to make sure that you're as informed as you are with your competitors. So I hadn't even thought of that. So that's an amazing point, Caroline. Let's jump into some of the mistakes that you see women make the most in terms of their social media and their careers.
Okay, do you know, Kristen, I think that women do a great job on social media because generally we're excellent collaborators and networkers, aren't we? And you see that all the time with women throughout sport and at meetings. And really social is just an extension of that. It's not a dark art. We're collaborating and networking while we're on social. So really from that, from a positive side, my tips for success would be really have a strategy, think who do you want to reach and what do you want to achieve from your social media? Is it awareness of your own personal brand? Employment, if you've got a business, are you looking for leads? Look at what your area of expertise is, because sports is it's a huge industry, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And there's some sports that we're naturally more drawn to. Focus on the sports that you're really interested in and what your potential recruiters or clients are likely to be interested in. And then once you know who you're trying to reach, this tells you what their interests are and also the tone of voice. Should you be formal? Should you be informal or really casual? It really depends on what the people in that field, how they talk. And also it'll tell you which social media platforms they're likely to be on. If they're big business and corporate, then not Instagram or Snapchat. Look at another platform.
Sure.
My second tip would be to keep it consistent. Have the same profile and tone of voice, whichever social media platform you're on. And I tell you, this is the hardest thing, isn't it? You've got to keep on going.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to post regularly and keep that feed and your profile on point all the time. And sometimes that can be hard work, but that's probably the most important thing. And then this is my personal thing, is to keep engaging, to build relationships and connect with others. And I use an analogy. If you went to a party and only talked about yourself, you didn't listen to anyone or ask questions, pretty soon everyone would be avoiding you. And it's the same on social. They will just tune you out if you're boring.
It's so true. Yeah, you do not want to be the person at the party that everyone is avoiding, and that goes for the same in work. So I heard you say a few things there that I thought was important. The first one I liked that I think it would be really easy to forget is to basically go at your social media with intention, I think is like kind of what you were saying, and don't just go about it willy-nilly. You said have a strategy and think about who you want to reach before you really cultivate your tone and all of that, which I think is so easy to just jump onto these social media mediums and just throw yourself into it with no, work or research done to it. And it sounds like that can really set you back in this competitive environment. And then I really liked how you mentioned how important it is to be updating regularly. So if you had a specific piece of advice, how often on average do you think it is best to post or update? And you'll find out I am not the most knowledgeable about social media, so I might use lingo that, shows that I'm 33 and not 23. But if you had to give us a range of the most appropriate amount of posting, what would you say that was? Maybe per day or per week?
Okay, well, I'll cover it I don't want to bombard you with lots of different information on different platforms. So today I was going to focus on Twitter and LinkedIn. So I'll cover those and I'll give you a range, because when I talk to people, I know that everyone's hugely busy and you haven't got time just to be sitting on social media posting. Whereas for me, it's kind of my job. So I do. But on LinkedIn, I would say an absolute minimum 3 times a week. But if you can post once a day, Monday to Friday, that's perfect. And it's not just the post. So I like to dip in at least once a day to like and comment on other posts. We're talking about building relationships. That's the power of social media, is building relationships.
So you can really build those relationships by commenting on posts by people that you're connected with or companies you're connected with, right?
Yeah, or on LinkedIn, yeah, very much so. And even, or if it's a fit, if one of your connections comments on a post, it may well show up in your feed. It could be somebody that you're interested to connect with, or it could be an area that you're interested in. Then, add value and make a comment as well if you're comfortable.
Okay, great advice. So we don't just have to be comfortable like making a brand new post. Maybe that's scary for us at first. So we have the option of making comments on things that we see that other people are interested in or other people have posted.
Yeah, and as long as you keep it on LinkedIn, it would be professional, but keep it, on brand and in the tone that the post is.
Sure. Okay.
It's same as, at a party or something, isn't it? Or at a meeting, you would chat along to people. It's exactly the same
Sure.
on social. And then on Twitter, that's a bit harder because I would say that an absolute minimum of 3 times a day, because it's such a fast moving platform.
Right. It's like you'll be out of like people will be moving past you if you don't do it a couple times a day. You'll be so like out of touch if you aren't posting at least once a day. That's what I found out, especially trying to do social media for my organization as well, is like, oh my gosh, like I'm so irrelevant at this point if I haven't posted a couple times a day. I'm way out of touch.
Yeah, exactly. Because a tweet can last only around 24 minutes, and that's no time, is it? But you don't have to stop everything 3 times a day and try and think of something to post, because that's not going to last, is it? What I recommend is scheduling on Buffer or Hootsuite or whichever tool you prefer, and then your posts are planned. They're in line with your strategy, and you're not just thinking of random things to post, which you know you'd probably last a few days if you were just doing it randomly. And then again, like LinkedIn, dip in once or twice a day just to engage with others. And I don't know if you create lists, Kristen, and I create them for me.
I don't because like I said, I'm not great on social media. Oh, wait. Oh, so lists are how you can categorize the people you follow to make them more relevant. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly. And it means, you could have, say, several thousand followers, but you actually want to speak to the people you want to speak to. So, for example, for my personal brand, I have one that's got my ideal clients. So I go to that one first because they're the people I want to engage with daily. And then I often have one separated into sports news because, like you were saying, you really need to know who won the game last night and who's the MVP and in the team. And then, sports influencers and just people that I've met that I'm interested in. So I separate it into those lists so that I'm not going into that social media black hole where you end up just drifting around for hours and not getting any work done.
Which social media platform might have the most bang for your buck, if you will, in terms of being worth our time to keep it current? So if we only we only have time or the energy or the knowledge to really put into one at this moment, would you consider it LinkedIn versus Twitter the most important? What do you think?
I'd say, yeah, one or two. And I think it would be hard if it was one and I was building a personal brand and wanted to make really effective connections, then LinkedIn all the way. It's improved so much. If you visited LinkedIn a few years ago and it was just really slow moving and dull, it's not like that now. It really works. So if you use it really effectively by posting interesting content that would appeal to your audience, chatting to others and connecting with the right people, it will lead to opportunities. So I love LinkedIn.
Okay, so if let's say I'm searching for a job, give me an example of a post that would be appropriate if I'm in a
Well,
job
I think
search?
if you were job searching, the first thing I would do would be to have my profile just nailed on, just perfect. So I would have a really good profile shot. So no pictures. I'm sure like your cat or your dog is lovely, but no pictures of them as well. None of, with you drinking beer with your friends, just a professional one, which doesn't cost a whole load. A professional shot and a really clear headline and summary. Exactly what you do, and potentially the kind of work you're looking for if you're actively searching for work. So that'd be the first thing, and try and make it more about the person that you're going to be working for. It's kind of hard to explain, but don't just copy and paste your resume across, because that's really boring, but try and make it interesting and that is going to interest a potential employer. And then for content, with LinkedIn, I find if you're too specific and too narrow, no one will engage. So I would say if I'm posting about sports topics, I would probably do more general sports topics rather than a real niche, because you'll get less comments. But I would source articles or highlight work that you're doing that's involved in, supports your sport. If you're most likely an active sportswoman, so as long as you keep it professional and interesting, then you could update your experience with sport. But it's going to be different to the post that you post on Facebook. It will be more professional aspect, but highlighting any meetings or networking or conferences that you go to connected with the field that you're interested in, you can pop those on LinkedIn as well.
All right. So, okay. So let's review. So industry, no, you gave me so much good information. I'm taking notes. So I want to make sure everybody has some time to digest it, because I think there are a lot of women like me who are like so energetic about learning about this. So, so first, if we are so energized that we're going to these networking events in our industry, it wouldn't be a bad idea if we're looking professional, take a selfie or take a picture with someone at this event, or maybe take a picture of the welcome sign at this event and post that. Or another option would be just like a current event that would happen in the sports industry, but don't make it so narrow that only, very few people are going to be interested. So even though if I'm trying to work for the Toronto Maple Leafs, it's still appropriate to post about the sports industry as a whole or the hockey industry as a whole, so that I'm not just kind of capturing the people who are interested or also working for the Maple Leafs.
Yeah, exactly. But you could, I think, if you were looking for work in that field, you could, if you've gone along to a game, you could comment on that. But rather than just saying, cracking game or just great game, you could actually put some insight into it to show off your skills.
Show your knowledge and show your passion, and not just that you attended a game or an event.
Yeah, and also so that someone else can engage with it as well. Give them a hook to comment or to like or to engage with you.
Oh, Caroline, thank you so much for agreeing to be with us today. Having another female who's sports-minded, who's so great at social media is so refreshing, and I'm so glad that we were able to get you on today. So thank you so much for being here today. And for more conversations from the world of women's sports, visit wispsports.com, where you'll find more than 700 podcast episodes, blogs, videos, and articles, and follow up on social media at Wisp Sports. You can also download the podcast from Wisp Sports Radio in the iTunes podcast store. Thanks again to our sponsor, Why Guess Fitness, a female-owned and operated physical training business designed to provide women with personalized physical training in a private setting. The goal at Why Guess Fitness is to help women get healthy and gain knowledge and confidence in the gym. Contact Why Guess Fitness at whyguessfitness.com or on Instagram at whyguessfitness. The FAB podcast is a co-production of Females in Athletic Business and Wisp Sports. Check out our organization, Females in Athletic Business, at www.fabsportsorg.com and on social media using @fabsportsorg. Thanks so much for listening. We'll be back next week with another episode of the FAB podcast. See you next time.
two. I want you to put your hands together and repeat after me. Y'all ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh,